morning and welcome to Morning Moments. Thank you for joining us today. I have an award winning actor. He has been on several films and mostly faith based films. Uh, Dean Phillippi Sr., welcome to Morning Moments.
Good morning and welcome. I'm glad to be here. It's quite an honor, Andy.
I've interviewed several folks that you've been in films with together, and so it's been a delight to finally nail down a time and a place for us to interview and have you on. Dean,
Good.
please tell us a little bit about yourself when I ask the question, what do you do
Okay.
and why do you do it?
Okay. Well, I'm a full-time actor and senior lifestyle model. Okay. Uh, as far as and being an actor, I'm basically doing, as you mentioned, the faith-based Christian films, and I do one-offs. And what I mean by that is films that are family-oriented. Okay. Not necessarily faith-based, but that are family-oriented and that are clean. So I care about that very favorably. And but the ones that I do a lot of attention to, and one in my life is those that are faith-based Christian that bring a message of enlightenment to inspire anyone that is wanting to know or needing to know things that would bring them to God. For example, in this past year and a half, 2 years, I've had the opportunity to do films for human trafficking, true stories, for child abuse, for texting and driving, drinking and driving, and bullying. And so anything that, that's been a challenge that people are living with today or had the challenge, even with drug abuse. Those are the films that I've been touched with to do in favor that are built in a way that it shows the outcome if you turn your life over to God. So that's one of the things that I'm doing currently, which I'm really proud to do so. And I'm just like you mentioned, Andy, I prayed hard for God to give me that opportunity. And I feel spoiled. Why? Because He's answered that. He truly has. I mean, I'm sitting here in awe, and I always will be in awe for the fact that if you ask for special prayers, and those aren't easy prayers, those aren't easy films to find and or to be cast in. But over abundance, I got the opportunities, and it was a big wow, wow. I look up and I thank him over and over, and I'm sitting here in total awe for what he has done for me. And I'm not done because I've signed on with more films that are coming up that are going to be more in favor to God. So that's what I am doing today. And, over the years, my family was Christians, and, they let me do stage plays at the church, and then I would do stage plays I worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield for 30 years, and that's where I retired from before I went into acting. So I did stage plays off and on that were faith based. So, it kept the momentum. And now that I get this opportunity, and it's not saying that I'll end up going back to stage. I loved it, but right now it's film. And then on the modeling side, I'm doing commercials. I'm doing national commercials. I just finished up a national commercial I'm a Vietnam veteran. So I just did a national commercial for Perkins Restaurant. So that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And and I do print shoots. So, they're picking on me because of my age category for Medicare or whatever it may be. so so that pretty much in a nutshell is what I'm doing. And I'm an active in my personal life as well. My wife is a nurse. She's a nurse for 30 years, as you are, and she's going to be retiring here pretty soon. So we both go do a lot of RV camping, kayaking. She's an avid kayaker. So wherever there's water, she'll book us. She's my booking agent for that, and we'll go camping and then we'll kayak at the same time. So we're enjoying life at the same time. And then she's been with me. I just finished up a film called Unaware, and you probably know the gentleman Cameron Arnett. That was my second film with him. So we did it down in Mount Dora, Florida, is where we did that one. And actually, him and I did, Don't Say My Name film, and that's about human trafficking. So, those are things that we've been blessed with. So I, that's pretty much in a nutshell. I can't say a nutshell, but it's basically things that really dominate me to this day that I'm very thankful and blessed with the opportunity to have that. And then your second part of that is what I'll be doing in the future. I guess it is. And
Well, just what are you doing now, or what are you planning on too, as well?
yeah, my plan is to continue doing this. It's a fast paced, and my wife has done this with me, a few of them. She's not too kind on it yet, but I think once she does the commercials with me, and then she sees the opportunity of the lucrative part of it, she'll probably end up liking it.
Yeah.
But uh, so yeah, the future part of it, I've got an awesome film that's coming up that I was just cast in, and it has it was like an investigation story of Martin Luther King. So that's an opportunity that's coming up that's really a powerful film, and then a few others I've been cast in. Now, Andy, I have to travel a lot. Okay, they don't do a whole lot here in Jacksonville, Florida. So for the fact that I have to travel, that's fine. Just to do great films, the opportunities. The short jaunts down to Orlando or Tampa or anything like that. I can't say it's short, but it's enough to do in a day and come back. I'm doing those. So yeah, those are the things. And I think I touched on it. I'm a Boy Scout chaplain, 18 years now, and I'm still doing it. And I'm introduced to a lot of faiths because all these scouts come into me. They have every religion to that aspect. So I've had to learn and respect that religious aspect of each one of the boys. Okay. Bottom line is to be an Eagle Scout, you have to believe there's a God, right? So that's the thing that I drive on is if they're inspired by that, and then they have to do merit badges that challenge them. What are they doing around their faith, or their family, with their community, and belief in God? So that's all the part of that. So I'm trying to touch on the lives that are early and young to inspire them to believe early in their ages in God, and then hopefully keep that spiritual thing in them the rest of their lives. So that's a true blessing to me that I can touch with younger generation to that point.
When you talk about your films that you're in, this story, a lot of times the message of God's goodness and His grace and His redemption,
Yeah,
it's hard to hear in sermons. It's hard to hear when people talk to you about it. But
sure.
when you see it in a film, it really brings the word and the promises of the Bible to light. And,
Oh
uh,
my,
and and uh, and it brings it right to not to light, but this is what life is all about.
exactly. And that's the part of these films. If you look at the ones that we're doing, especially with you touched on JC films, um, it's not that we're coming at you preaching, okay? We're showing you life affects the challenges that the people go through, and then people like you and I that introduce them to God or saying, "Hey, just bow down and pray about it. We'll pray with you." And believe that there's a God that He can reinforce you, support you through what you're going. And, what better way to do that, right? And the films, that's what they're doing is they're showing you these hardships that some of the people go through. And then, like War Room, where Karen Abercrombie, she went in the room and she prayed heavily and she was answered, right? And so there's outcomes to that. And you have to believe and you have to have your full heart into what you're praying about. Praying is a big necessity.
Yeah.
When you pray, believe in what you're praying and believe that He's answering you and that He will answer you. So anyway, that is my future part of it is just to stay active in that opportunity. You know, I I do have a lot of films that are premiering right now. Uh, AMRAC, My New Family. It touches on several aspects of life with bullying. Okay, whether it be adults or younger generation, and the hardships that people go through. You know, the kids, the peer pressure in school. So I play God in that film. So this one's not finished yet. It'll be coming out pretty soon, and it's a powerful film that's coming about. Now, just to let you know, I've played God 5 times this year in the past year and a half, and those are tough shoes,
Yeah.
okay, to fill.
Yeah.
You know, every time I do that, if you remember the films, Morgan Freeman and George Burns, they wore the white outfits, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wearing. You know, I'm a humanistic God, and I'm, how can I say this? I don't try to be a pretentious voice. I just be myself. But there's things that, my things that I do to encounter people and to talk to them, I have to be stern. So that comes out in a different way. So, but it's been that's an honor to do because, every time I step into that and I do that film, I look up above and I say, please let me do this the right way.
Uh,
I don't know how you speak, extensively, but,
and we pray that you don't have a God complex after a while. For
yeah.
well, Dean, it has been a great time getting to know you and hearing from your what's on your heart.
Yeah.
We're gonna down below. You've been seeing some how to get a hold of Dean, also how to look at his films he's done, those that are in post production that haven't even been released yet, and to see some of the things that's happening with Dean. Speaking of prayer, at this time, as we close this interview, I
Mhm.
want those who are listening to this to take time and pray for Dean, that God would bless him in his work with the Boy Scouts and with the movies and with everything he puts his hand on, everything in his life, that God would bless him. Dean needs your prayers, folks, and you need the practice. So pray that God would bless him. Dean,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being
Yeah.
with us on
Well,
Morning Moments.
thank you so much. God bless you too. It's been an honor and so nice to meet you too. Thank you
Uh,
for the opportunity.
all right. Thank you. And
Okay.
thank you for joining us for Morning Moments. And if you would keep coming back, and may God richly bless you.